Hello everyone, my name is Christian Banks, and this is my lovely audience, Esmeralda, Jerry, and Dora, and then we have little Frank. So let's get into it. So today I'll be presenting to you all about something that significantly impacts many college students, as I know it's affected me for many years, and that is sleep deprivation. We often find ourselves not getting enough sleep, whether it's chores or games or whatever we find ourselves being distracted by, we often find ourselves putting sleep on the back burner and doing other things instead. So in my presentation today, I plan on telling you why that's important and just go a little bit more in depth and inform you. So sleep deprivation in college students is, imagine, it's getting late, but maybe you still gotta finish a paper. Maybe you still need to do the dishes, maybe you need to shower, finish making the bed, putting away clothes. There's many things that we can find ourselves distracted by. And often doing that instead of other things that might be important to you, such as getting sleep. So in my speech today, I will be presenting one thing that we take for granted, being sleep. So the importance of sleep. I'm going to inform you of why sleep deprivation is the major problem for many college students and how it affects students' health, decision-making capabilities, and school performance. I will also share a few strategies that anyone can use to get to help with their sleep, as simple strategies can often be the most effective. So, the impact of sleep deprivation on your health. When receiving less help, the body functions worse when well rested. As when we're the best rested, we will perform at a much higher level than if we're sleep deprived. As being sleep deprived can sometimes be equated to being drunk, as cognitively it'll deteriorate your performance and your attention and how fast you can react. So, it's very critical for college students' development, as many college students aren't receiving enough sleep. Some statistics to help with this is 70.6% of college students report getting less than 8 hours of sleep every night. Remember that number. And then 60% classified as poor sleepers by the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. Having 60% of your populace being named as poor sleeping is a major number. And then, if you remember, the 70% of students got less than 8 hours of sleep. Here is less than 7 hours of regular sleeping can increase the risk of serious health conditions, which includes heart attacks and depression. And when you have a young population starting that off early, that will continue on into their adult years. It's good to start younger and create those healthy habits now while it's vital. And then we'll go into the effects on decision making and learning that sleep deprivation causes. One thing is the impaired cognitive function. I mentioned earlier that being sleep deprived can also be similar to being drunk, as it will slow your response time. And that's very vital when doing things like driving or doing whatever your profession is, as you could be a police officer or a nurse. These are things where it could put other lives in harm just by not having enough sleep. Another is the diminished problem solving skills, as if you're in college, you'll have to do some equations or problem solving. Your lowered academic performance will also be a big sign that you might not be getting enough sleep. And then the increased risk of burnout. And then more consequences of poor sleep on your grades is that it's linked to reduced academic performance in college students. For those students who don't get enough sleep tend to have lower grades and the lack of motivation, which went into the last two bullets. This impacts their overall educational experience. So with this speech, I'm aiming towards the college populace, as I know that's a major populace for not getting that sleep that is really required. As you're going to school, you're paying for school. This is money that you're putting into your development and your future career. So if you're not getting enough sleep, that will then go into not getting that information that you need from school, which will go into your grades and go further on into your career, as you don't remember the teachings that you had been taught that were very important towards your progression. So now I want to get into the strategies for better sleep. The first one I'm going to mention is reducing screen time. As many times, especially me, I know that we can find ourselves scrolling on our phones right before bed. This habit not only disrupts our sleep schedule, but also negatively impacts the overall health. Research shows that the blue light emitted from screens interferes with the body's natural sleep-wake cycle, leading to a decrease in melatonin production and makes it harder to both fall asleep and stay asleep. Staying asleep is one impact that phones have a lot on us, as we'll be caught scrolling on our phones, swiping through reels, watching YouTube, not getting that sleep that we really need, as we find ourselves looking at this blue screen, and it's getting our eyes to not produce that melatonin that we really need. The next strategy I'm going to mention is managing stress, as stress can have a major impact. So, effective stress management plays a massive role in improving your sleep quality. High levels of stress can hinder the body's ability to relax, making it more difficult to fall asleep. Techniques such as deep breathing, calming music, and regular physical activity can help reduce stress and promote a more restful night. That physical activity could just be running throughout the day, which will also make you happy, as it produces healthy chemicals. Another strategy is room temperature, as maintaining a cool bedroom temperature can be massively impactful to the quality of your sleep. The National Sleep Foundation suggests keeping your room about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. This enhances the REM sleep and minimizes disturbances throughout the night. A few other easy strategies that you can use in your life is drinking warm milk, eating food such as turkey, a warm bath before bed, and then even something that many of us don't think about, and that is getting up. As if you're lying in bed awake, you might just stay awake. Maybe getting up, going for a walk, and then coming back to the bed will help reset your cognitive cycle. And so, for the conclusion, I want to give an overview of what we've gone over, as sleep deprivation impacts our lives in many ways, from grades and moods to physical and mental health. It strains us in many ways when we don't get enough sleep. It affects our lives and our brains in many, many significant ways. Now, I hope my speech has given you the information to get a good night's sleep, as getting enough sleep should never be extra. Not when sleep is the foundation for where we start our everyday. Getting one last thing done for the day is great, but I hope these tips have given you a better thought of how vital your sleep is to your everyday. Thank you for being my audience, and if you have any questions, now will be the time.
So when you said cognitive cycle, you meant sleep cycle?
Yes.
Okay.
Your brain will create a cycle, and that's what you naturally get used to.
Your circadian rhythm.